you've got to pace yourself to make the whole thing sustainable.
No cow. This aura is expensive.
Here I am at Tieri State School. So I came from Mackay, stayed in Cappella, went down to Emerald, back to Cappella. Now I'm going back to Tieri, where I came through on the way to Cappella, and then back to Cappella for a show this afternoon, then back down through Emerald on the way to Rolleston. So it's a bit of back and forth this time. I'm just going to move those cone thingies back so I have a little bit more room. They've measured it out to 8 meters, bless, which I could do the show in this, but I like taking up more room. The kids love the show, but I was struggling that time because it's 32 degrees and I was sweating all over the place. So I was leaving a heap of sweat on the floor right in the middle there. So I had to be super careful to avoid that spot when I was doing the BMX tricks, because on the floor like this, your tires just hit a wet patch and that's it. That goes out from underneath you and you're on the floor, and not in a good way, because quite often you're on the floor before you realise you've even slipped, and that's when it hurts. But the other thing I find happening now, when you're doing it day after day after day, twice a day for weeks at a time, you know the show so well, and I'm able to now pace myself, and especially after being in all that heat and humidity in Cairns. I can take big deep breaths, I can pace myself, I have a little sip of water between acts, and it's quite good now. You've got to pace yourself to make the whole thing sustainable, because I've got another show this afternoon, another show tomorrow, and then it keeps going, so it's got to be sustainable. I'm definitely struggling. My watch says it's 35 degrees. It's not as humid as on the coast, but it still feels pretty humid. The area that I'm riding on is fake grass. It's quite short, but still it's that whole thing when you're on one wheel and you're on carpet or the fake grass, it tries to steer you in one direction, so it just means you've got to work extra hard. And I can't practice right now. Well, I could, but the kids are all playing. And it's also really bumpy underneath the fake grass, like really bumpy. Oh well, it is what it is, and you do what you can with what you've got. And then I've got a 2.5 hour drive, but luckily tomorrow's show is in the afternoon, so I get a bit of a rest during the day. Just arrived in Rolleston. Got here just before sunset, which is good. Oh, microwave, yeah. I'm missing the kids like crazy. Last day of week 3, I'm struggling a bit. It went well. The kids loved it. They had a great time. However, after some of the other shows where there's hundreds of kids and they're just screaming and shouting and cheering and carrying on, these ones are so quiet. It's easy to think, oh, the show's not very good. Oh, the audience aren't really having a good time. Or, oh, what's wrong with me? Or what's wrong with the audience? But they're just so blown away. It's really cool. One of the parents came up to me afterwards and just said, oh, that was just amazing. Is this what you do? Is this your full-time job? I'm like, yeah. She's like, wow, that's incredible. The kids loved it. Thank you so much. And I'm in the car now with the engine running and the aircon going because there's so many sandflies around. And my weekend has started. Yay! Yippee! So I'm heading to Gladstone. I'm heading to Gladstone. So that's where I was yesterday in Cappella. Went to Emerald, went out to Comet, then down the back way to Rolleston. And I'm going to go all the way along here. It's about 4 hours down here to Tannum Sands. Just arrived in Tannum Sands, and it's a gorgeous place. It's lovely, much nicer than I was anticipating. Budget cabins C. Whoa, one. Oh.